Good evening, Abundant Life family. This is Pastor Jackson, and welcome to Wednesday's Encouragement in the Word. In our journey to be more like Christ, which is more important, our thoughts or our actions? I'm thoroughly convinced that they are equally important. Romans chapter 12, verse 1 and 2 says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service. And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. In these verses, the Apostle Paul declares that we should offer our body to God as holy, and that our transformation from worldliness to godliness occurs as we renew our minds. In Sunday's sermon from Philippians 2, the Apostle Paul provided 4 characteristics of the mind of Christ. In chapter 2, verse 5, he said, the mind of Christ is a sacrificial mind. Jesus Christ, throughout his earthly ministry, gave of himself for the benefit of others. Secondly, the mind of Christ is a servant's mind. Jesus didn't come to be served, but to serve. Third, the mind of Christ is a submitted mind. Jesus didn't seek the will of his own, but the will of his heavenly Father who sent him. And lastly, the mind of Christ is a suffering mind. Not only did he die on the cross, but he experienced a brutal beating prior to the cross. Understanding and experiencing the mind of Christ leads us to take our eyes off ourselves and focus on the needs of others. Paul says it this way in Philippians chapter 2, verses 3 and 4. To apply the mind of Christ to your life, do nothing out of selfish ambition. View others above ourselves and consider not only our own interests, but the interests of others. In life, we often find what we're looking for. As we pursue the mind of Christ, I trust we will understand his thoughts and follow in his footsteps. God bless you and have a good night.